Okay, we're back.
We're back like we never left.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem, man. Well done, well done, well done, well done, guys. So, guys, hey, guys, tag your friends, tell everybody to come. We're back. We're back like we never left. We will have to change our clothes. Maybe it was the old clothes we were wearing. I was the devil. Yeah. So what's up? So I was asking you a question that when was the light bulb moment for you? So there are two light bulb moments that I like to always look at. The first
Mhm.
one that, this is touching people's life. That's impact light bulb moment. What
Mm.
was the business light bulb moment for you that went like, you know what, I can do this as a business, not even like a side hustle. And then you saw other people doing it and like, whoa, I can put my twist in this and do this as a business. Where was that for you?
I think the business side was one time I was on the phone with a friend. If she just sent me a message and said, "Oh, she needed my advice to some, some personal brand matters and her content and all," and so she called me. We talked for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then when we finished talking, she was like, "So, how much?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, how much?" We're just talking. I said, "Oh, everything you just said is information I would pay for." And that's when it hits me like, okay, okay, okay. You mean you mean I can advise people and they would pay me money? She said, "No, you're not just advising them, you're helping them grow their business. You're helping them
Yeah.
position in a way that helps them to be able to make more money, and you should get paid for that." Another thing, when people started to ask me questions a lot, and I just realized I don't have enough time
Mm-hmm.
to answer every single person who needs attention from me. And that's when I just realized, okay, I need to put a price on this. I need to put a price on, my knowledge and all of that. But I did
Mm-hmm.
not immediately do that. I first started taking classes for free just to validate my ideas, to make sure that, okay, these things that I have applied, another person can actually apply them and get results. So I started to document my process, took some classes for free, and, based on the experiences people in those free classes had, I'm like, okay, this actually helps people. I now had confidence to begin to charge. So it was other people that actually saw the value in what I had to offer and, told me, you're sitting on money. Don't do this for free. That's
Wow.
when, that's when
Wow.
I realized, that's when I put a price on everything. I'm like, okay, this is how much it costs to talk to me for an hour. This is how much my class costs. And, it's been up from there.
Wow, fantastic. I mean, somebody just said that, you just answered the question in my heart. Like you have not answered me. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So tell us a bit about your background. Where you
Mm.
coming from? What school did you go to? Do you have a broad background in advertising? A bit of your backstory.
I have no background. I have no traditional background in advertising. I studied economics, which, at the time when I was going to go to university, I was 15 years old. So I was not very sure what I wanted. I just picked the closest thing that I thought I wouldn't fail at.
Smart kid, man. These are the intelligent people. These people.
No. Anyway, I went and I think I was in like year two or year three when I realized I had made a huge mistake because that just
What
wasn't for
course was
me,
that? And what school was that?
Economics, Madonna University. At the
Mm.
time, it was economics. I was in Madonna University. I didn't want to transfer or anything, so I just stayed in school, found a way to graduate. Miracle. But for like the first year, or first 2 years after school, I honestly did not know what I wanted to do in my life. I wasn't sure. I was 19 years old. I just left uni at 19, so I was young and I felt like I was by myself. And I also
Mm.
didn't find other people like me. Most of the people who were my age and had graduated university were like super smart people, like very focused and already knew what they wanted, right? So I was this person who most people thought was like a smart child, whiz kid, and I had no clue what I wanted to do. Um, but while I was in school, I that's when I realized I had a gift for communication. I just knew that, when I heard bad communication, I could tell. I could tell that this thing you
Mm.
could have communicated it another
You
way. And
get
it would
that,
happen
yeah.
to me like in the middle of a sermon or something. I'm like, Yeah, you could have said it this other way. This sermon didn't have to be 1 hour. It could have been 30 minutes. Why did you spend so much time on a part of it that was not relevant to the central point? So when I started making content and doing all of that, I knew that I wanted to communicate in ways that was relatable, memorable, and portable. That's, I just knew that I wanted people to be able to consume whatever it is I was giving within a very short period of time. And I thought I was going to be a motivational speaker. That's what I wanted to be because I saw Steve Harris, I saw Paul Fo, I saw some other people at that time when I was like 19, 20, and I just wanted to be like those people. I'm like, who's going to give me a platform? Where would I gather people and sit them down to teach them? But I was always reading books. I'm grateful for my parents for that. They always, hammered on personal development and all. So the books I would read, every time I realized that how I would make sense of whatever I was reading is I would picture myself explaining it to someone else. So I started to discover that I also had a passion for transferring knowledge. Whatever book I was reading, if I catch you in a conversation, you would die there. Like I would download it for you and I would explain it to you in my own way, that you wouldn't forget. And I just, it just caught on that I had a gift for communication, I had a passion for transferring knowledge. And little by little, I started to apply it by just making videos on my phone, just talking about some of the things that I had learned that week, or some of the things that I was just passionate about, or something I was just mad about in the world. I'm like, okay, people should stop doing that, stop saying this, stop doing that, stop acting like that. And I would just put it out into the world. And, it wasn't, I started this in like 2014, 2015, because I left school in 2014. It wasn't until 2018, late 2018 into January 2019, that all of it started to come together into something that was
Mm,
actually defined, into
mm.
something that I would actually be proud to say I do this for a living. It took all that time. I worked a job. I do have a background in sales and marketing. I worked in sales and marketing, real estate for 3 years after school between 2015 and 2018. Yeah, I left my job last year after creating content actively for a while and just getting into the content creation world. While I was a content guy and I was wearing black t-shirt and all that, I had an 8 to 5 where I was wearing suit and tie literally every day and nobody knew.
Okay.
But
Wow.
but you asked the question about the financial light bulb moment. When I had the financial light bulb moment, that's when I realized if I take this content thing seriously enough, I can leave this job. Right. So content creation became my exit strategy. And that's when I started to go hard. And that was last year. And so I
Mm,
went hard, I went hard, I went hard. I left my job in September. I don't think it's been a year yet. Yeah, it hasn't been a year yet since I left my job to be a
yeah.
content creator full time.
Mm.
Um, I left and we're here now. Yeah, so that's like a summary.
It's so powerful. What informs the black t-shirt? I'm sure a lot of people have asked that question a lot.
Well, to be honest, it gives me one less thing to worry about, right? At the time when I started making videos, I'm like, how many? I don't want to. At the period when I said I was going to do daily videos, I'm like, how many shirts do I have? After 10 days, they would have known that Salem has only 10 shirts. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wear a black t-shirt in every single video. So I worry about the content, worry about the delivery and all, and just have one less thing to worry about. So that's literally it.
This is so powerful. This is so fascinating. How do you come up with content ideas? Because a lot of people watching us right now, I'm sure they're asking you, how do you have something to always say? Because when I coach and work with people, you'll say, Paul, if I talk for 5 days, I'm stuck. I don't know what else to say again. How do you generate content ideas?
So it is the beautiful thing about content, right? Is as long as you are talking, it's so much easier to talk to somebody when you're speaking from a point of view of a problem they have, right? And one thing I very strongly recognize is that whoever I'm talking to on social media they are people. It's not a number. You don't have 30,000 followers. You have 30,000 individuals following
Individuals.
you. Each of them has a background. Each of them has a story. Each of them has a life. Each of them has something they're worried about, right? And people don't really care about you. They care about themselves. They care about their own
Of
problems.
course,
So
yeah.
what I do, my content strategy is one, I'm very particular about identifying who my target audience is. It's not everybody.
Very
I
important,
know who
Vivi.
my target audience is, and then I have a long what their problems are. I study what their problems are. One of the reasons why it's easier for me to study their problems is because I'm trying to attract creators. I'm a creator myself, right? And I know what it's like to be a creator within the ages of 18 to 25 in Nigeria, living in a Nigeria. I know what it's like coming from a Nigerian family. So I understand the struggles, I understand the anxiety, I understand the depression, I understand the pressure, the fact that another of your friends is a doctor and everybody's looking at you at the family gathering like, what do you do? You understand? I understand it very deeply. So I talk about these topics. I align my brand goals with these problems that individuals in my target audience have. As long as they have problems, I will always have content topics, except they run out of problems. Right? So every day it's me picking up one of the problems and deciding to talk about it. Now, because of how well I understand the problem, if I want to talk about it, I'm going to say too much, right? So that too much I'm going to have to say, I divide it. So instead of making a 10-minute video, I rather have 10 1-minute videos, right? And just talk about so many different things. And as long as a creator, as long as you're someone who is willing to look beyond yourself and to see that human beings are naturally selfish. If you want to get somebody on your side, you need to go to their side. That's just how it is. Except you want to be the only one liking your own pictures, commenting on your own pictures, buying your own courses. So I think I just have an understanding about the fact that my story in my story, I am not the hero. The listener is the hero. And that just really helps. As long as I'm thinking like that, I always have content ideas. And I think there's a certain level you get to where you spend years or a long period of time where you're consciously always thinking of content ideas. You're always looking for content ideas. After a while, sir, like it starts to come to you. I don't know. I cannot explain that part. It starts to come to you. It's almost like the ideas now know that this guy's brain is home. This is where I want to live. This person is going to execute me well. This person is going to put me out into the world in a way that I am proud to be associated with. And these ideas just begin to follow you, right? So you're going through your day and you're just spotting things. You're watching a movie, you're spotting things. You're reading a book, you're spotting stuff. You're in a conversation with somebody, you're spotting stuff, because your whole mind is, I want to serve. I want to reach out to this particular group of people. And this is how, and as long as you're
Filter.
committed to it, it just starts to happen quite naturally. Familiar, I see you both.
Good. Now,
Yeah.
Salem, many creators, one of the challenge that I see from my neck of the woods is that they know the gifting, but they don't know the business of the gifting. So that's where I see that they make the challenge. And subsequently, because of that, they don't have the work ethic to support that. All right, I saw a book recently say real artists don't starve. So I want you to speak to that because they will fall in love in your outputs, but they don't know the work ethic behind it that causes you to do that consistently. It's not only your passion for it. I want you to speak to that.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between the passion we have for something and the reality of the pursuit of it. It's just different. That's why the majority of people who are passionate about music will not be stars. The majority of people are passionate about a lot of things. Not everybody is going to blow, and that's just life. But the thing is, it's easy to get passionate, but when it's time to tell ourselves the truth, it's hard, especially for young people. It's just really difficult. We still want things to come to us. We still want things to just find their way to us. But one thing we need to think of is one thing we need to know is everyone who stays, everyone who is around for the long haul was always thinking about the long haul, right? If you're somebody who's only thinking about the next paycheck, if you're someone who's only thinking about the next business deal, that's what you're going to be doing for a very long time. Now, the difficult part, Uncle Paul, is the fact that when you're someone who's not getting a lot of money, it's very difficult to not be focused on paycheck to paycheck.
Mm.
It's really difficult. So everyone who is a creator, who is in this place where you have passion but you don't understand the business, you need to go and learn from the people that understand it.
Yes.
Do you
That's it.
understand? Andy Stanley says the difference between the wise and the foolish is the wise know what they don't know, and they're not ashamed to learn from those who do know. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you've seen that, oh, this my passion is not going to feed me, or like it's going to be nice, but it's not going to feed me, like it's not going to make me rich, it's not going to make me the kind of successful I want to be, then you need to think, oh, so who knows it that I can learn from? Pay for a course, watch
Mm.
YouTube videos, ask questions, ask these questions. It's not magic. People get it right because some people, you can either get it right by trial and error, or you can go to someone that has already figured it out. Right? You can get a coach, you can talk to someone. That's like the shortcut to that. So if you're in those shoes, I would advise anyone. Let me One of the ways that I went about this is I got a business manager. Once my brand began to grow and I saw that, okay, Salem, I'm a nice guy and people might just walk all over me in negotiations, I got a business manager. So if you send me a DM and it's business related, I will not talk to you, I'll direct you to him. Right? So
Oh.
we're kind of business partners, and he gets paid off everything that I do. If
Mm.
you cannot, if you're in a position where you cannot afford to do that, then learn it by yourself, because there honestly is no way around it. If you can have passion, you just be there and you be hungry, but we all need to learn the business side of things, because there's music, there's the business side of music, there's creativity, there's the business of creativity. And one thing I now realize is, when there's no money in my pocket, sometimes it's difficult. It just makes everything difficult. If you can't buy data, if you work online and you can't buy data, how imagine how your life would be.
Use your
you
apps that
know
you need to get the job done.
do you understand? All your apps and everything, all the different platforms that I pay online for automation and all of that. When I get the debit alerts at the end of the month or at any random time in the month, I don't like it. The alerts come in dollars. That's how I know I have to. If I don't take the business part seriously, Canva is taking the business part of their creativity seriously. And at
Yes,
the end
I
of
pay
the
them
month, they will collect
$12,
their.
man, every month, man.
Do you understand? It will do ping ping. It will go Calendly. It will go.
Yeah,
They don't care. So if
yeah.
I don't take the business part of everything seriously, I'm just going to suffer. So if we think about it like that, I think, yeah.
Monetize. The creative is watching now. Do you have a book? Do you have seminars? Do you have because I teach that there are 10 revenue streams for creators and coaches. 10. Most people use only one. I use all 10. So you can have one business that has multiple streams of income in it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Business that has multiple streams of income in it. So I coach, I write books, I do retainerships, I I do keynote speeches, and I get paid for all. I do all of them. So it's one business, multiple streams of income in the business. I have a subscription business as well, multiple streams. So how do you monetize in yours? What
So
revenue streams, yeah, do you have in
yeah,
place for you as a creative?
yeah. So for I think I need first of all I need to say what's really important to my brand as a whole. What I want to do is to help creators find clarity and community. That's all. When I wake up in the morning, that's what I want to do every day, to help them find clarity and help them find other people like them to grow with. And one of the ways we do this is the Booster Academy. We started the Booster Academy early this year. It's a school for creators. We teach personal branding, creative storytelling. We're closed right now because, I mean, just like any school, it's not open throughout the year. But we're reopening in September, and we teach creators, help creators find clarity as to what niche they should belong in, what it is they should talk about, what their message should be. And, it is community driven. So on the group, we have a setup of how people have to post, create and post for a given period of time, and everybody has to engage with everybody. Now, there are so many people who went to the Booster Academy who are, relating with one another, collaborating with one another. I'm out of the picture now, right? They're just working. We started the hashtag Insta Booster Academy, and everybody who has been through the classes, that hashtag has been used 12,000 times. As at this morning, it has been used 12,000 times. We've had over 600 creators go through the Insta Booster Academy just this year. So that's one of the ways. I take one-on-one consultations too with brands, with corporate brands and personal brands. 1 hour, I have coaching sessions with people, that one is more tailored than the classes, right? In those sessions, we talk about, I send a form ahead of the session that helps me to prepare, where I ask strategic questions that help me understand the person's predicament, their problems, and then I issue solutions. Now, with some of those consultations, 1 hour is enough. With some, 1 hour is not enough. So I now have to offer my content strategy, offering, and tell them, okay, I can build a content strategy for you. That's a different charge. So that's one. That's two now, right? I work with brands on two fronts. One with promotions like influencer partnerships. I've had a couple of those with CarryWise, YouTube, Prosper, Nkata. They want access to my community, and they have to pay to have access to my community because I'm standing at the door. So that's one of the ways that I monetize. Another way I monetize is creating content strategy for those brands. So consulting, social media consulting for them, basically. I also have an ebook coming next month. So for now, those are the major ways that I
So
am,
that's a mouthful, man. So one brand, multiple streams. That's what I'm talking about.
yes,
Now,
yes,
it
yes.
takes a level of work ethic to produce that.
Mm-hmm,
Because I know what
mm-hmm.
I'm talking about. I just produced 30 videos for a client of mine in Sweden. 30 sales videos. It takes a lot of work to produce that. I'm
Videos.
producing, as I speak, I'm producing another 150 videos for a client. It takes a lot of work to produce that. Passion is not enough. What are some of your daily routines that have helped you? I am big on routines. I have my routine. I wake up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 every morning. Make myself a cup
Mm-hmm.
of coffee. I must exercise. I must read a marketing and sales book for 1 hour. I must read 2 chapters of the Bible. I must pray in tongues. These are my routines. I do it every day. It doesn't stop. And I must journal. I've used, can't count them, plenty journals. I'm a journaling junkie. Yeah. So that's my routine. What's yours? And because those things, they keep you stable. They keep your life
Yeah,
sane. Yeah.
yeah.
There's
So
a book called Morning Pages. It's for creators. The woman wrote a book called Morning Page. Just dump your thoughts as a creator, there. There's a website I used to visit a lot, 99%. What's this guy's name again? That website is for Behance bought that website. Now the guy works with Adobe now. So it's for
wow.
creators that is when they I think it was Thomas Edison that said that success is 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. That's when they got that idea, from. So what's the routine that keeps you going in the morning? Because everybody has theirs. They may be unconscious about it, but everybody has a routine in the
Everybody
morning.
has theirs. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so mine is not as solid as yours. I still have a lot to learn from you, right? But one thing I know that I have to do every day is I have to consume information that is relevant to where I'm going, right? I don't always so I'm self-aware, so I find concentration while I'm reading a book quite difficult. So I consume a lot of audio content, a lot.
I'm sure you
So
do
when
Audible and podcasts a lot.
Yeah, podcasts, especially podcasts. I consume a lot of audio content while I'm taking my bath, while I'm washing, while I'm eating, cooking. I'm consuming audio content all the time, and I'm improving my mind. Why that is very important to me and important to where I am going is as someone who is a storyteller. You're only as good as the amount of connections your brain can make,
Those
and
synapses are very important. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I like to really feed my brain because I will only get as much as I have fed my brain. If I try to demand of myself what I have not put there, my brain is just going to be looking at me.
More diverse the information is, the more powerful your
Exactly.
output becomes. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. The richer it is. So that's one thing that I do every single day. I make sure to consume information that is relevant to my journey, to where I am going. It can be in the
Mhm.
form of a YouTube video, it can be in the form of a podcast. Another thing is I take some time, I don't do this every day, but I make time every week to spend time with courses that I have paid for. I still pay for courses because there are people who know some of the things that I don't know. And I'm not ashamed to learn from them, right? Some things, while you're going, the problem with some people who are professionals is when they are going to a course and they hear something, oh, I already know that now. I already know that. But
I
it
tell you
may
all the
come in a way
time,
that,
you must stop that thing because I tell you all the time, sorry to cut you short, that
yes, sir.
don't read 100 books. Read 10 books 10 times. Your favorite,
Yes,
because
yes, 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 yes.
Salem, let me tell you the secret of this. I work with a multi-billionaire currently. The guy has read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, 40 times. One book, 40 times. He's a billionaire in dollars and naira. He has read that book 40 times. What will the average young person like us do? When you are telling them something that they already know, just switch off. Say, I already know. You don't know it. If you know it, you have results on it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Another thing most people, not most people, but a lot of people my age, when we read books and all, a lot of times we do it so we can say I read 40 books. Oh, I read 100 books.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I mean, the question is, where's the results? What did you do with
Mm,
what you
mm,
read? So
mm,
at some point,
mm,
I had to, like, now I cannot boast that I have read 50 books this year because at some point I stopped. I stopped
mm.
reading so much because I'm like, how much have I done with the one I have read? How much have I applied to the one? So there's some, podcasts that I listen to, I begin to apply, then I go listen to them again, I begin to apply, then I go listen to them again. So,
Mm.
I am more informed. There's some things I listen to on like the 10th listen, and I didn't get them all the first 9 times.
Repetition is
And I'm wondering
powerful.
how about exactly. I'm wondering like, but I heard this thing before. I thought I heard this thing before, but I didn't, and I missed it.
Mm.
And a lot of times, that's all I need to, Sometimes it's a book that I've read 3 years ago, and then I pull it back and read it again. And because I have new eyes, I'm a new person. I've grown. It's like a whole different flow. So yeah, I agree.
Mm. Repetition. I've been quoting Psalm 91 for 10 years. Every day.
Wow,
For 10
wow.
years. Sometimes 3 times a day. Like today, I've done it 2 times a day because I did it by 4 a.m. in the morning when I woke up, I walk around my house. I live thankfully in my yard, in my compound, we live alone. And then I quoted it when I was praying with my children. I've been quoting that scripture for 10 years. Every day, I believe in repetition. Many people don't get results because they jump and jump and jump. I listen to some podcasts over and over and over until the spirit of the podcast enters me.
Can I ask you a question at this point?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering. So the thing is, a lot of young people might hear you right now talk about what you've done for 10 years and what you've done for all the time about how you wake up at 4:30 every day and how you pray every day and all. How should someone how will you help someone see that this isn't immediate? It wasn't automatic. Like you didn't just start and you're this person that just does it every day so easily. Because it's easy for someone to think, oh, this is Porfo's life. Porfo is special. I can't do that. That's Porfo. So
Mm.
how would you let them know that it's also been a process for you?
Some days you don't even feel like doing it. But Sally, can I tell you that some of my biggest ideas, this pandemic period that we all have been at home for months, right?
Hmm.
You know that we've been at home for months. The
Yeah.
monies I have made in this period, the idea for that money came in my morning routine. I was on holiday in August last year with my wife and children. We're on the 20th floor of this apartment building. 4 a.m. in the morning. I was drinking coffee. Let me show you the journal. I was journaling. The idea hits me like a ton of bricks. Time alone is a mysterious time. Don't play with it. Protect it. Some of your biggest ideas will come. The moment you start getting results from those morning routines, those disciplines, it will now feed you to believe that this thing actually works. Because it is in your routine. The Bible speaking about Jesus, the Bible says, as was his custom, he went to pray. As was his custom. The root meaning of the word custom means your routine. He had a routine. So, Mr. Young Man and Mr. Young Woman, you say you're a millennial, you're a millennium, you're a millennium, everybody millennium, millennium. What is your routine? Me, I'm not a millennial, I know. I'm not a millennial, I know that. But the question is, what is your routine? Because the secret of a man's life is in his routine. All the LeBron James, they have routines. All them popular, even all these popular Nigerian musicians that are even in their 20s or early 30s, they all have a routine, because that is where repetition has so much power. Say, meditate upon it day and night, day and night, day and night. That is where the power is. Some days you don't feel like it, I get it, but the next day, pick yourself up, because the Bible says the righteous man will fall 10 times, and 10 times he will rise up again. It's very, very important that you have a routine. That's what I will say about, millennials. And secondly, that many millennials, I'm sorry to say, Salem, they don't know how to sell themselves. They don't know how to tell their own stories. Yesterday, I was in a job interview interviewing 30 salespeople for an organization. You need to see what your age mates were wearing. They can't put us over a job interview.
Hey, my
Some
age
girls,
is Jesus.
some girls were wearing leg chain to come for interview. Salem, can you believe that? Leg chain to come for a corporate job interview. Salem, can you believe that? You want to be employed as a sales executive in a multi-billion-dollar organization. You are wearing leg chain with a short skirt, and your cleavage is showing. How will you get the job? Is that the story you want to tell? You see, I'm interviewing my brother.
I can't.
Salem, what books can you recommend a few books that have really had an effect upon you? I know that you're not a big reader, but maybe one book or some podcast that you can recommend that has had an effect upon you. I'll recommend some for you guys, but go ahead, tell us.
The Alchemist.
That's a good book. Paulo Coelho, great storyteller.
Yeah.
The best.
I know. Like, I've read The Alchemist over and over, and every time I read it like at once. Like, I sit and finish it before I stand up.
Wow, good.
And
It's a good book.
that's a really good one. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's really old, but
Yeah,
contains a lot of gems. One of the books that have revolutionized my approach to work and life, Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
I loved that one. I really loved that one. Still Like an Artist. If you're a creator,
Oh,
I highly
that's
recommend.
my guy now. I have all his
Austin
books.
Kleon. Oh,
I have
amazing.
all his books. Show Your Work. I've read all his books.
Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going.
Then Building a Story Brand, Donald Miller.
Yeah,
You
good book.
know, that was life changing for me too, and my career. That affected everything, and helped me really kickstart. Which other one? The podcast I listened to, the Stanley Leadership podcast. I
To
love
me, he's
that
the
one.
best leadership teacher. The good best leadership teacher.
Andy Stanley is one of my favorite communicators in the whole
Yeah,
world.
and he's one of the greatest communicators as well. I have one of his books as well. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you. Yeah.
There's also the Ground Up podcast by Matt Diavella. Matt Diavella is a content creator himself. And he's actually had like a very beautiful journey of organic growth. And he has about over 3 million subscribers on YouTube. So I like to listen to his podcast. I love Tim Ferriss too. I love Tim Ferriss's podcast.
Yeah, that's my dude, man.
Episodes are really long. Some episodes are like 2 hours long.
Wow.
Like 2 hour long conversations, but every time I leave, I'm energized. I'm energized in a solid way. That's as much as I can remember off the top. And anything by Seth Godin. Podcast, website, newsletter, books.
Salem, I can tell you for free, you are going to go very far in this industry. Very far. You're an old soul. You are an old soul. Am I the person that told you this?
No.
You're an old soul. You see, you have one leg in your generation, but you have another leg in the older generation, and that's your balance. Let me tell you, I've psychoanalyzed you. You're going to go far. You have one leg in your generation. You just look at them. Don't think that you're among them. They don't know that you're like that child. You're like that child that is. He has finished reading. We have been playing with all of you. Hey, we are together. Hey. But your mind is an old soul, and that balance is what will keep you going, and your hunger. So I've seen it. You're going to go far. You have the work ethic, you have the style. That's another thing. Because most content creators, most speakers, they're not very stylish. Sorry to say it. You have the style. You have the panache. What the Jews call the chutzpah. You have it. And then, hey, you're gonna go far. You're an old soul. You're an old soul. So hey.
Thank you. I'm really honored to hear this.
I'm sorry from a distance. I say this guy is an old soul. He's an old soul. You know, I have a son like that. I call him my old soul. You know what I mean? So he's there. So I can look at the books you were calling. I was just laughing as a man thinking, this guy, Paulo Coelho. Many people of your age, they don't know that book. I read that book in a 6-hour, 7-hour flight. Finished it. Couldn't drop it.
Yeah, it's really hard to drop, to be very honest.
The guy said one of my favorite lines, when you are going to the universe to look for your personal legend, the universe will conspire to make it a reality. Favorite line from that book.
Uncle Paul, to be very honest, I still live by that. You know, recently I was talking to a mentor of mine, and he just helped me understand that, you know, Salem, if there's something you want in your mind, decide that it can be done. And the way that it will be done, it will just happen. You know, decide that it can be done. Start to make the phone calls and tell people, this is what I want to do. This is what I am going to do. Begin to speak about it. And I've seen, you know, I've seen crazy things happen that I didn't think, you know, would be able to come together. But it's facts, you know. At first, it was like a motivational, because I read The Alchemist years ago. And then recently I read it again and realized all the principles have actually worked in my life. Certain things that years ago, if you told me, I would have said, nah, in the world. But I've seen it happen. And yeah, the universe does conspire.
It does. Even because I read the Bible by books. I just finished the book of Proverbs a few days ago. I read Proverbs every month. I finish it every month. 31 chapters. Every month I must finish the book of Proverbs. You cannot read that book and remain the same. If you do that every month, you'll be so wise. So now I'm reading the book of John, and one of the books that Jesus was even prophesying about his death. He said he's going to die and so time. This is what is going to happen. I wrote a note around it that he spoke his dream into existence. Why don't you speak your own dream into existence? That's what you're doing. The universe always conspires to make your dream. Salem, have you ever thought about buying a particular car before? Or phone, before, you know, seeing that car all over the place.
Everywhere, I know. It's actually happening to me right now.
Yes, it actually supports you. If you want to travel, go on holiday or something, you start seeing things about the city that you want to go to. Yeah. And I want to encourage you here, after the pandemic, one of the best ways to get inspiration is when you travel. It doesn't have to be outside Nigeria. It can be outside your city. Come to Lagos if you live in Abuja. Go to Abuja if you live in Lagos. Go to Jos. If you can't go abroad, go to Ghana. Something. Just travel. One of the best education is to open your mind and just go. And just go. Read as much as you can read. So Salem, this has been a fascinating conversation. I've learned so much from you from this conversation, a lot. And I know that your progress is going to be so loud. In fact, your future is so bright and wearing shades. It's so
wow.
bright. So bright. Wow. You're going to go very, very fast. So in fact, this conversation, I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to download it and turn it into an MP3, upload it into my podcast. I think every young person should listen to you and hear you out and hear what you have to say. So thank you very much for coming. Do you have any
Thank you
products you
so
want to
much.
sell to us?
Thank you so much.
Anything that they should sign up on? Yeah.
Yeah, so the Booster Academy is coming back, but in September. Very, very soon you'll be able to join the wait list if you're a creator and you need to find clarity and find community. Soon, that will be up. Any other thing, just look for me at Salem Kinging, and you'll be able to access everything through the link in my bio. If you want to talk to me for an hour, you can't wait for the Insta Booster Academy, and you want to talk to me for an hour, go to the link in my bio and book a session with me. I'd really love to talk to you. Can't wait. Thank you so
And
much for having me on top.
can you type your handle? Let me pin it. Can
Salem
you type?
Kinging. All right. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yep, done.
Well,
So
hey.
Salem Kinging, that's where to find me. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So Salem King, what's your last word of encouragement to somebody listening to you and say, I don't even know how to start? Salem King, I'm sure the kind of phone you're using right now wasn't the phone you started with.
Yeah.
You're
You
probably
know,
using an iPhone now or an high-end a Samsung phone, but you didn't start with that kind of phone. Please, I better tell them.
now that you said this, you're going to make me tell a short story, but I'll just say anyway. When I first started making videos, I was using a cheap Samsung phone, and I didn't like the product of I learned how to edit on YouTube. So when I edit by myself, I didn't like how the videos looked, right? So I figured, what can I do? And then I would just make my videos black and white, because if it's black and white, hide the flaws, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
the black and white just has this artsy feel, and that's
yes, yes.
literally how my videos are still black and white. So even when I moved on to a better phone, it just kind of stuck. So this thing that was supposed to be a problem, right?
Mm,
This thing that was supposed to be a problem ended up being the thing that defined my brand. So if you're somebody
good
who,
statement.
use what you have, and when I say use what you have, somebody might say, oh, but I don't have this. Do you have a friend that has it? Do you have a friend that you can borrow from for 30 minutes a week? I'm sure you do.
Awesome, awesome,
I'm sure you
awesome.
do. So that's what you have access to. So, and as much as possible, maximize your period or your season of obscurity. This season where nobody knows your name, nobody knows who you are, you won't
Read
have it
more
ever
that
again.
time, yeah. Mm.
Exactly. So this is the time when you can experiment. You can make your mistakes while not everybody's watching. If Uncle Paul makes a mistake, it's going to be on Insta blog tomorrow. But if you make
Mm.
a mistake, nobody's going to know about it because nobody's following you. So this is the time for you to make those mistakes, and
Mm.
just rack up as much as you can. So
Mm.
those are my final words on this
Thank you.
live.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for coming. We're really grateful. Is there anybody
For
that you
having
can
me.
recommend that, Paul, you need to talk to this guy on your next entrepreneurial interview sessions?
You need to talk to Miss Einsteinet.
Who's that?
Blessing Abeng. I'll type her handle now.
So you need to put a good word for her for me and say, my uncle got to talk to you, man.
Yeah.
You need to talk to my uncle. You've got to
Yeah.
talk to my uncle, man. Yeah. So
Let
maybe
me
she'll
give.
come on the show next week. Yeah.
Yes, yes. You need to talk to Miss Einsteinet. You need to talk to Presh Gaza. I'll send you a whole list. I'll send you
So
a whole list.
WhatsApp them to me, and then but before that, you would have pause them and say, you know what, I just had a chat with this dude. He'd like to interview you. I just finished the interview on his show. He'd like to interview as well, so we can make that happen next week Sunday. I like to do this every Sunday. Yeah.
You got it. You got it. Thank you so much for having me on this episode. I'm really honored.
Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah. Thanks.
You too. All right. All right.
So the replay will be up, guys. You can rewatch those of you who came in late. Yeah.
All
Have a
right.
good evening,
All
everybody. Yeah.
right.
Bye.
Bye.